There we go. Well, good morning, everybody. I am just going to show you, in this house, if people want pancakes, I always ask, do you want English, American, or Scottish? And depending on what they answer, depending on what I cook. But it is very quick and very easy to actually create pancakes. So I'm just going to show you one batch of each of them. All the recipes are on my website, tamsincochrane.com. So go and look there if you would like them. Do remember to like our Facebook page as well, Tamsin Cochrane, the food activist. So I have my plain flour in here. I'm going to add 1 egg for... I'm doing crepes to start with. Because I'm doing crepes, I am actually going to turn the hob on because I want those pans already to be hot when I get to them. I'm going to put just a pinch of salt in there. Once again, the beauty of cooking yourself means you actually control the level of salt, and that is, I think, very important. So a little bit of noise as I actually whisk this up. So 4 ounces of flour in there, 1 egg, and I'm going to put half a pint of milk. The reason I'm going to add the milk slowly but surely is because crepes are very thin, so the batter is going to be thin, which means if I just tip all the milk in, I'm going to end up with lumps. So we're actually going to add the milk slowly but surely and let it actually build up that way. Just going to use a spatula to take what's around the edges and make sure they're mixed in. All done. I don't know if you can see, we have smoke coming off of our pan. So that is excellent news. I happen to know this ladle is 1. I'm going to put a little bit of oil in there. It'll depend on your pans as to whether you need to add oil or not. So I'm just going to let that so it's all over the pan. And I'm bringing the pan to the mixture because I actually want it everywhere. And then I'll just make sure it coats. I'll do the same with this pan. There we go. And the first ones in the pan normally are the trickiest ones. They're the ones that are more likely to stick. So I tell my children they taste the same. So don't get too worked up by that. Right. And I do not have a plate here to put them on. So let me dash and get that while they're just quickly coming together. There we go. Now, I will show you how to flip them as well, and this one actually is nice and thing. I was speaking to somebody yesterday on Blab, or the day before, and he kindly was asking, the subject just came up on crepes, and he was saying one side is always sort of nicely brown, i.e. this side, and then the other side is much more mottled. I would expect that. The first side has got some of the butter, or as I quickly used, or ghee is better than butter, by the way, because that's clarified, so it doesn't have all the bits in that will burn. As it happens, I'm just using a pure oil here, so I'm not using ghee today. I would if I was doing a dinner party. I do keep ghee in the fridge. So anyway, you can see this is loose. So when it's loose, it's all in the wrist action for you to flip it over. And that's how we are expecting. I'm trying to work out how you can. There you go. I don't know how you can see that. Okay, let's get that on the plate. Put a bit more oil in there. So to know whether it's going to flip or not, that's it. We now need it to move. So once it's moving, you know that you can flip it. There you go. And that makes life slightly easier. So there we go. It's always good fun. Now, as I said, we eat them for breakfast, and we tend to eat them with lemon and sugar. The younger children like syrup with it, but don't forget you can make these savory. You can fill them with a nice chicken and spinach with a sauce. So they're very versatile. At the end of the day, they are literally just another source of your carbs there. So make sure it's coating the whole pan. This one I can see is already nice, and so it will flip as soon as it will move. So that's what you're working towards. And if it's not moving, then in theory it's not cooked underneath. That's most probably one reason why I keep a spatula there, just in case. So I can see a few of you have joined, so good morning. I hope your day is going well. Well, it's morning here in Texas. I know you can join from anywhere in the world. So, and we will just turn that one over. Oh, see, so naughty of me. And it depends on the size of your pan as to how many pancakes you're going to get out. So where are we at? 2, 4, and I've got 1 left. So I'm going to turn this off because I'm actually going to start warming that pan with the heat that was there ready for our next pancakes. And I'll just get rid of this one. And we'll just use this pan to finish off what we're doing here. So there we go. And I'm not going to ladle this one in. I'm literally just going to pour this one in. So there we go. Obviously, if I wasn't on blubber, I probably would have the fan on as well. But you lot would not enjoy that noise. I can assure you of that. Right. So just as that one is finishing, I'm going to start the heat under this one. And we will do the Scottish pancakes or dropped scones. You can tell if it's still sticking there, don't try and turn it. We actually want it to be loose. So the Scottish pancakes, I have everything measured out over here. Once again, it's your 4 ounces of flour. We do put a little bit of sugar in that one. We do have egg, milk, and we have baking powder, which I've forgotten to put out. So let me get the baking powder. There you go. And this one I actually won't, I'll turn that heat off now actually. Because I'd left it a little bit longer. The other side now really doesn't need long. So crepes don't take long. Remember, those of you who have just joined, how high is your temperature? Daryl, I am on the highest for the hob for the crepes. Take those pans really, really high. They don't take long. And literally, if I lifted that straight off the heat, if I flip that now, you can already see it's got a nice mottled. And that's what it should be. One side's going to be mottled. Let's flip that. And the other side's going to have a much more brown thing. So when we're looking at the English pancakes or crepes, very high temperature. When we're looking at the American or Scottish pancakes, which are thicker, that is when you're going to bring that temperature right down because we don't want it to burn before it's cooked in the middle. So let me get rid of that one as well. I'll just stack those pans over there, get rid of those crepes. My children will come home from school today to lots of pancakes to eat. Okay, so we're going to do the Scottish pancakes. I said, there you go. brain dead there for a moment. So I've got my flour and I've got my sugar in there. I'm going to add my egg. And I could whisk it up, and I will because it's right here. We've just used it for English pancakes. But it's very simple on Scottish or drop scones to actually use the handheld bloom whisk, which is what we're about to use for the American one, because we definitely don't need it in the American one. So there we go. Oh, as I said, I needed a little bit of baking powder. So let me put that in there as well. There we go. Right. So let's add the milk. Once again, using the spatula just to get everything off the edge and make sure it is mixed nicely in the middle there. And yes, it is. So once again, it's not as runny as the English crepes, the English pancakes. We're going from thinnest to thickest in our order of making them today. And then the size that you want these, you actually can use them to make letters. I do that for the children's names. Some mornings I'll actually, I don't hear an echo. Okay, let me, is that better? I hadn't turned off one of the camera silence. And Darren, I'm glad you didn't hear the echo. Thanks, folks. It is obviously taking me a little while to notice the messages, so I apologize for that. So anyway, you can make them very small, and sometimes I do that with these ones, and I use them for nibbles when I have friends over, and I might put some cream cheese and a bit of salmon on it, or a little bit of horseradish and a bit of roast beef, cooked roast beef, because they're very nice as bite sizes. But obviously it's also a breakfast item, in which case I'm going to make them about this big, which is what you're about to see. But as I said, you could, if you took a spoon, you could actually do a capital letter, and it will let you do that. It will hold that shape. So let me, because once again, disorganized this morning, I apologize. Let me just grab a serving spoon. There we go. So I know that I've got the pan nice and warm, but I have not got it over warm, or we jolly well hope I haven't. Otherwise we are in trouble. Let's turn it down a little bit more. We just let it warm up. My hob can be interesting these days. So as you can see, it's a little bit thicker than the crepes, but it's not as thick as American pancakes. So the way to tell if these are ready, I'm wondering if I turn that light off. Does that help you see a bit more? I don't think so. Okay, I'm going to try and lift these out of the, how do I move them out of the light? It's reflecting in a bad way. Let me see if I can just change the angle of this camera. Maybe not. What I'm trying to show you is that we know when to turn these over because of all the bubbles that are coming up. So these have beautiful bubbles. Where's that camera there, isn't it? Bubbles. There we go. I'll just keep flowing. I'll learn from each blab I do. Turn them over so you can see those actually look to them. And what I tend to do with these ones is I just have a rack out on the hob, And once you flip them over, they're just going to rise slightly. And there you go, done. So they don't take long, which is good, isn't it, when it's breakfast? You saw it didn't take me long to make the mixture. And they are a very good and tasty breakfast. Now, in this house, they're more likely to have them with syrup, but after school snack, they're more likely to put Nutella on them. But you could serve them with your bacon and eggs as well. There's absolutely no reason why you don't do that. So your main window is paused, but I can still see your cooking. Okay. Thank you, Daryl. And I can't see why that is the case. Both mine are still showing that they're going. So I will have to look at that. Pretty difficult for me to stop. Oh, thank you, Daryl. Okay, so once again, just flip those over. And these are fun. And these are obviously also known as drop scones. I don't really need to keep going with these because we need to move on to the American. But I am going to put all of these in now, and they can cook as we start making the American mixture. There we go. Oops. So I can make these a whole variety of shapes. Let me get rid of this. We're doing well with getting our washing up all together here. Okay, so I'm going to start on American pancakes. Once again, these are the thickest of all the pancakes that we're doing. It does have slightly more ingredients in. I'm prepped for speed here. I'm actually flying away this morning to Colorado. I've got a half marathon on Sunday, so but I try and blab every Wednesday, and I didn't want to not blab for you all, so I've kept going. And this was a blab that I did a while ago, and it's not showing when you try and look at the recording. So I wanted to get this done again. There we go. I can just see that these ones have got the bubbles coming through for half of them and not the other, and that just means I didn't have the pan totally over the heat underneath. So I'm just going to give them a few more minutes, or we are going to end up with not fully done. Look at that. There we go. So the heat on this one is just below medium on the hob. And I had put the pan on earlier while I finished off the other ones so that it was ready. You want it to already be hot. For any of them, when you put your pancakes in, you want them to be hot. And then you end up with these little guys because they come off when you drop a little bit of the mixture at the side. So here we go. Once again, we have plain flour or all-purpose flour. And then I have some salt, baking powder, and some sugar that I'm going to throw in there. And I'm using the balloon whisk. So I tend to mix all those in straight away. That works for me. I'm then going to put the egg in. And this is a cup of milk and 2 tablespoons of oil, which generally speaking means I don't need to put oil in the pan. And I'm just going to turn that temperature down a tad more. So I am going to pour it all in one go, because these are quite thick. So in actual fact, as I start mixing it all round, and I just start with the well in the middle to make sure I have whisked that egg and broken it down. So if I come this way. I'm very good at these cameras, am I? So there you go. That is the American pancake mixture made. It didn't take long. No packets in this house. It really is simple. I'm just going to take that spoon out to do the pancakes. So the American pancakes, as we said, we've gone from the thinnest to the thickest. Here is the mixture, and when I put it in, you'll see that it is flowing out much more slowly. Now, the beauty of this is you can add things to these pancakes while they're cooking. So I do love blueberries put in them. My 13-year-old loves, hello, Alan. Oh, thank you, Corey, for your message as well. Daryl has said hi, Alan, as well. So the American pancakes, my 13-year-old likes white chocolate chips in there. My 15-year-old likes mini M&Ms. In fact, we keep a mixture. How sad is that? I keep a mixture of what he likes just in his cup, because it's mini M&Ms and butterscotch chips, each to their own. That is pretty sweet to me. I don't make them that often, but that's what he likes. So when I'm looking at the American ones, you can see they're holding they're sort of fatter, but they're starting to have those pinpricks coming up that we noticed on our Scottish pancakes, and that lets me know that underneath is cooked. So once I flip them the first time, I'll know if I need to alter my temperature. So the crepes, the English, were at the highest that you can get your hob to be. The Scottish pancakes were down at medium or a tad below, depending on your hob, and the American need to come down lower. Again, they take longer to cook, which is how you're able to put things in. So let's just flip that. There, nice and puffy. So, and then once you flip them, they're going to rise up again, which I think you can see. So let me move these up a bit. And I will be able to take these out now. You always are cooking your second side far less time than you are the first side. Apologies. There we go. So if you looked at, if I pick one of these up to one of these, you can see hopefully there is a difference, and that's your American. So I am just going to put a few more in there and just go through that, showing you the pinprick. So American pancakes, once again, are very good for putting into shapes. So if you wanted to actually do the letter of someone's name, or do a love heart, or I have for my children Star Wars shapes, you can literally do that. You can put the shape in the pan, and you literally put the mixture into it, and it will cook to that shape. And once it's set at that shape like this, you then lift that bit off and you carry on cooking, flip it over. It won't lose its shape for you. Just a thicker mixture, so rather nice. There we go. And I can see that I'm reaching where I need to be with those. Turn that handle around, just make it easier for me. There we go, and up they come. So those are your 3 pancakes that I wanted to show you today. Once again, you'll get those recipes on my website, tamsincochran.com. Do go onto my Facebook as well. We post there regularly, and we always let you know when a blab's coming up. And generally speaking, it is every Wednesday. You know, sometimes that goes a little wrong, but 10 o'clock Central Time on a Wednesday is when we like to blab for you all. It was great being here today. So thank you very much, everybody. And I have got a flight to catch, so I'm out of here. But I look forward to seeing you all next week. Do follow me on Blab. And do let others know. That would be much appreciated. Have a wonderful Wednesday, everybody. Bye.